Hey gang, it's JC and this is the Daily Dose for Monday, April 4th, 2011, a combined venture with Mind Active in beautiful downtown Brentwood. Great archives at the top of the page and eye candy along the bottom. Got a very funny one. If you missed Jimmy Fallon show on Friday night, we'll do the pickup on that. I'll explain here in just a couple of seconds. How about that weather over the weekend? 90 degrees yesterday. It seems to me exactly 7 days ago we were shoveling snow. It's one of those things when there's a thing that's circulated on the internet. It's been going around for years. And one of the things is, how you're a native of St. Louis and it's if you shoveled snow and had to wear shorts in the same week. Well, we just proved it, folks. All right, well, that cobra that escaped from the Bronx Zoo has been recaptured. So congratulations, Donald Trump. You're now back to being the most slimy thing loose on the streets of New York. Google is installing a network in Kansas City that's going to be 100 times faster than normal internet connections. That way residents won't have to wait a split second longer to hear stories about the Royals losing another baseball game to a junior varsity high school team somewhere. And Major League Baseball stadiums will serve 22 million hot dogs this season. That means the only person to handle more wieners this year will be, well, Chelsea Handler. Okay, I got the NCAA championship game tonight. I lost interest a long time ago in my brackets. I had DeVry to win the whole thing. About Charlie Sheen over the weekend. Does his first big concert in Detroit, gets booed off the stage. They practically tear the place apart. People are walking out. And then shows up in Chicago last night and hits it out of the ballpark. And people loved him. What the hell's going on? The difference in... I don't know. My brain isn't large enough to process all of this anymore. All right, there is only one known nude photograph of Elizabeth Taylor that's ever been taken, and it has hit the internet. The picture was taken as an engagement present for Elizabeth's third husband, Michael Todd, after he proposed to her in 1956. Now, the photographer was Elizabeth's longtime friend, Roddy McDowell, who you may remember from Planet of the Apes. Anyhow, Elizabeth and Michael Todd were only married for 13 months. His plane crashed. So after he died, Taylor reportedly gave the photo to her assistant and makeup artist, Penny Taylor. It was purchased by a private collector in 1980, and he decided to release it after Elizabeth Taylor died last week at the age of 79. I've seen the picture. Maybe it was a big deal back in its day, but, I don't know. Not that big a deal. There it is. Just flashed it, otherwise people will complain. There is a Miley Cyrus sex doll. And the first batch sold out in 48 hours. Like I said, my brain's not large enough to handle most of this stuff anymore. I'm just reading it to you, folks. The new Easter Bunny movie, Hop, earned $38.1 million over the weekend, which gave it the distinction of having the best opening weekend of any movie so far this year. So Snooki gets contacted by Rutgers University, which apparently is now no longer interested in being recognized as a legitimate institution of higher learning. They paid her $32 grand to speak over the weekend. By the way, that is $2,000 more than the $30,000 the university is going to pay Nobel Prize-winning author Toni Morrison to give their commencement speech at the ceremony next month. All right, a lot of rumors going around about Katie Couric, and nothing has been confirmed. Well, finally now the Associated Press says that a network executive who spoke on the condition of anonymity says that Katie will step down when her contract expires on June 4th. She's going to get a syndicated talk show, and now that clears the way for who we are told is the front-runner, 60 Minutes correspondent Scott Pelley. We'll see if that helps. I watched the Kennedys last night, including the red carpet pregame show. But I watched the Kennedys last night. Now, again, let's keep in mind what we know about this. We know that the History Channel was going to run this thing, and then the Kennedys got all hot and bothered and said, oh, don't run this, it's terrible, it's awful. And you sort of got the impression that maybe the thing was a joke, like maybe it was an overly melodramatic presentation, or maybe it was just something you were going to watch and go, oh my God, is this stupid? Well, I watched the first episode last night, and you got Barry Pepper, who played Roger Maris in the Billy Crystal HBO production of 61 about 10 years ago, and he was also in Saving Private Ryan. And, he's been in a bunch of other movies. Barry Pepper's a good actor. Got Greg Kinnear, who also is a very good actor. And you got Tom Wilkinson from In the Bedroom and Shakespeare in Love and lots of really good movies. And Tom Wilkinson is just hitting this thing out of the park. He's amazing. And I'm watching the thing go, well, what was the History Channel had an objection to? It's certainly not the quality of the production. The art direction alone, because they're taking you back to the 40s and 50s and 60s. The art direction and these shots in Hyannisport and just all the old classic cars and just the costumes and everything, just absolutely fantastic. I'm real, and Katie Holmes, who has given some good performances in the past, looks so much like Jackie Kennedy that it's just frightening sometimes. I think they got a little too much of a pompadour on Greg Kinnear for Jack Kennedy, but it's still not enough to ruin the whole thing. I was pretty blown away by this whole thing, so you can watch. I think there's a repeat tonight, and then they go right into Chapter 2. It's an 8-part series, 2 hours to kick the thing off last night. And I was pretty impressed with the whole thing. So again, that's on Reels, which now is in HD, and most people didn't even know if they had the Reels channel, but maybe you know now. So again, the Kennedys, not bad. HBO has announced some big premiere dates. 8th season of Curb Your Enthusiasm begins July 10th. True Blood, June 26th. And the final season of Entourage is going to kick off on July 24th. Did you know that house cats can run, on average, about 30 miles an hour? Did you know that 1 out of every 10 Dalmatians is deaf? I didn't think so. All right, it was on this date in 1968 that Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was shot and killed on the balcony of a Memphis hotel. Riots broke out in over 100 American cities, 39 dead. I was 14 when this happened, living in Chicago. And when they instituted the curfew and said there were going to be like National Guard and soldiers walking out on the streets, you're 14 years old, you're living in the city, and I was living in the city of Chicago. I tell you, at 14 years old, that'll scare the hell out of you and it will change you permanently. But that was on this date back in 1968. All right, JC's Eye Candy today. Stephen Colbert shows up on Jimmy Fallon on Friday night, along with the Roots, his house band, and starts singing that stupid Friday song, and it just blew the roof off the dump. And then Taylor Hicks comes out, and then they have some synchronized dancers come out. As bad as the song is, you can't not watch this thing. It is amazing what they did on Jimmy Fallon Friday night. This guy's starting to hit his stride. When the show started, whatever it was, a year and a half ago, I don't know, something like that, I had my doubts whether or not Jimmy Fallon could pull it off. And there's still huge chunks of the show that I don't like, but I got to tell you something, for his target audience, which I think is like the sort of 18 to 34 crowd, I think this guy's really picking up steam, and I'm starting to watch the show more and more, so that might tell you something. So that's it, JC's Eye Candy, which is right below what you're looking at right now. It is hilarious. All right, that's it, JC's Daily Dose for Monday, April 4th. Hard to believe that we are in the month of April already, but we're chugging along here. A combined venture with Mind Active in beautiful downtown Brentwood. And in the meantime, we've beaten this one to death. Have a good one. See you later. Bye.